Chuck, yeah, Mike Vapes is back with his newest RDA called the Iconic. First, he came out with the Icon months back, right? And the Icon is a hell of a dripper. I mean, it really is that good, okay? It's a good squonker, but it's a hell of a dripper. It's one of those drippers that you can just blat your juice in, you get great airflow. If you missed my review on the Icon, watch it. I'll post a link down in the description. But this sucker right here, it blows the Icon away as far as squonking. Let me show you why. Check it out. Here's the deck section for the Iconic RDA, or shall I say Squonk RDA. This is meant for squonking, not meant for dripping, but the reason why it's meant for squonking is because you got these slanted airflow, bottom airflow tubes, which go up at a slant, right? So your coil is going to be sitting right here, which I'm going to show you in a second. I got a build in here. But then you've got this indirect slanted plate. The airflow is going to be bouncing off this plate and going up. So not only do you have airflow going up through here, it hits the coil, you got this plate. So it's like you've got direct bottom slanted airflow and you've got indirect bottom slanted airflow. It's really awesome. And it's like that on both sides. But look how deep the juice well is, guys. Look at that. 8 millimeter deep. This thing is meant for squonking. One other thing I want to point out, here's the bottom of this device. You got a protruding gold plated 510 pin, protruding peak insulator, threads are nice and smooth. But here's the problem. It doesn't come pre-installed with a squonk pin. I think it needs to come pre-installed with a squonk pin. Mike Vapes, I'm talking to you. Vandy Vape, I'm talking to you, because this is not meant to be a dripper. This is meant to be a squonker. You could argue with me all day that, oh yeah, you could drip and drip and drip. No, you could paint. Let me show you why you cannot drip with this, because there's no split post. All this is connected. These are the connections right here. It uses Phillips head / flathead screws, right? But it's got this L-shaped style, automatic clamp style system. So when you go to drip, where's that juice go? It's going to go straight to the airflow tubes and it's going to come right out of here. It's going to piss juice if you drip on this thing, if you just blat your juice. This is not meant for the dripper. This is meant for the squonker. So going back to the 510 pin, the squonk pin needs to be pre-installed instead of the solid pin. That's just my opinion. So as you guys can see, the clamps, the L-shaped clamps are spring loaded on both sides. So you're going to insert one of the leads on this side and this side for one coil and then turn around and it's the exact same. Now one other thing with this, you're going to be sharing your leads with each coil. That may be a big con for some of you guys out there. This is not for the newbie vapors. This is not as easy as building on like the Bonza. Bonza's way easy to build on in my opinion. And it's all due to the fact that you got to share your leads with this, and with the Bonza you don't have to share your leads. That's a huge difference. And check it out, here's the barrel section for the Rainbow. This is the heat treated Rainbow and it comes with the purple acrylic drip tip, A10 drip tip. It's absolutely gorgeous. All the Rainbows come with this purple acrylic drip tip. It also has that big beefy O-ring embedded into the top cap and it's a nice snuggy duggy fit. But here it is, you got the Vandy Vape logo on one side, it says Iconic on the other, and then here's your airflow slot. So you got your bottom angled airflow tube slots, and then above that you got the Cyclops slots. Like I said before, you got that plate. So this Cyclops slot airflow is going to bounce off that plate, and then you've got these bottom airflow tubes, which you guys see it, okay? It's going to hit more of the bottom of the coil. It's just absolutely brilliant. Love the airflow for this, man. But inside the barrel, okay, it's got this conical thing going on, sort of conical thing to enhance the flavor. With this kit, you also receive two Low Pro 810 knurled drip tips, a Delrin and a clear. And here's the clear one on here. Ooh, that kind of looks sick as tits, doesn't it? I like that knurl section. And you also receive this baggie of goodies. You receive an Allen key tool to unscrew and screw in your squonk pin. You also receive a Phillips head screwdriver, some extra O-rings, extra screws. You receive grub nuts, and you also receive 2 extra springs. Alrighty, so check it out. I'm rocking a space frame staple, dual space frame staple. 0.18 ohms, that's what this bad boy's reading at, but look at it. This is the space I have it from the airflow tubes. Check it out. Some people may like it higher, some people may like it lower. It's all subjective. But look again, look how deep that juice well is. This is perfect for the squonkers. So the Pulse 24 has got the top angled airflow. This has got the bottom angled airflow. And personally, I get better airflow off this than I do off the Pulse 24. I'm a bottom airflow type of guy, and because those airflow tubes kind of stick out at an angle, it's not in the way your wicks, and it's not going to ever be in the way your juice as long as you're squonking. Perfect, perfect, perfect design for bottom angled airflow squonk setup. And check it out, I'm utilizing the outside lead slot with the bottom inner on both sides. Or if you want, you could pop your medium-sized builds and you can utilize the bottom inner. Because I consider this a bigger build. 1, it's spaced, and 2, it's 3 millimeter. These are bigger builds. And once I have my wick in there installed and I got her all juiced up, all I do is just line up the slots to the slots. The airflow slots to the slots, I push in, and you can go with her wide open like that. Or you can pop it on a device and you can adjust the airflow. Close it off even more, even more. So both the indirect and the direct have to be open at the same time pretty much at all times, except when you close it beyond the bottom angled airflow. I don't like to vape like that. Personally, wide open like that, or closed off just a little bit. But all this is subjective, and I'm always going to mention that. And check out the black while we're at it, man. This black, ooh, it's sexy. It's like a matte black, and then you get the red acrylic drip tip, A10 drip tip, red with a little bit of black. Ooh, sick as titties. Yeah, buddy, so I got her wicked up, got her juiced up, got her filled up. I'm vaping on this Pulse 24 BF box, man. I think this is the perfect setup. This Iconic RDA in this sucker, or the Pulse 24 in this sucker. Can't go wrong with either one of them. But I'm going to go ahead and squonk a little bit just so you can see. And it pulls right back down into the bottle. But if you over squeeze that bottle, it could flood and come out those barrels. So you got to be careful with that. I mean, this is like the Pulse 24, but on steroids because you had that bottom angled airflow. Now with the Pulse 24, the flavor's phenomenal, the draw's phenomenal. I like the Pulseless deck. If you missed the Pulse 24 video, I'll post a link down in the description. Check it out. But this is like the opposite effect without the Pulseless deck. I'm talking about as far as airflow. Pulse 24's got the top angled airflow. This sucker's got the bottom angled airflow and the bottom indirect airflow. Like you guys saw in the close-ups, you have that plate. So the airflow's bouncing off that plate and hitting the bottom half, bottom and the middle half of the coil. Like I said, opposite of the Pulse 24. So if you were looking at the Pulse 24 and you're like, I'm not really a big fan of top airflow, but you thought that the top angled airflow idea was cool as hell, but you're a big fan of the bottom airflow, man, go with this one. This has definitely jumped up to my number 1 or number 2 as far as squonk atomizers. Look at those dense clouds, baby. Flavor, woo, 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 woo. It's good. I get more airflow off this than I do the Pulse 24. But having that bottom angled airflow versus the top angled, it's totally different flavor. It's hard to explain. You got to vape on both of them to know. But they're both so satisfying. It's just nothing less of greatness. In squawk mode. So yeah, that's the first pro for this. This is made for squawking. Second pro, airflow, man. Smooth, like I said, as a porn star's ass, as a gravy sandwich, as a catfish's belly. I mean, she's smooth. I really like having that direct bottom angled airflow and that indirect plate. I think it really gives this device that umph. I'm vaping transmission right here from the Merge line, and I'm getting more notes and nuances than most other drippers out there. And I don't think it's necessarily the bottom angled airflow as much as it is that indirect airflow. Indirect airflow is bitchin', man. If you get it right, and I believe this device has got it right. Personally, I like the spring-loaded L-shaped clamps. I think it's a cool design, something different that I haven't seen. Really like the fact you get 3 810 drip tips, you get the 2 knurled low-profile drip tips, and you get the 810 acrylic drip tip, and you also have different color options with this bad boy, the matte black, you got the rainbow, and the other 2 that I've seen is the gold, and then the stainless, and with each different color option, you get a different color acrylic drip tip. Like with this black one, you get the red and the black. With the rainbow, as you guys saw in the close-ups, you get the purple. That's pretty freaking cool. The fact that you also get extra grub nuts, and you get some extra springs for the clamps, that's a big pro. Also, another pro comes with the 510 Delrin drip tip adapter, so if you want, you could use your preferred 510 drip tips. Another pro. Back to the build deck, being able to pop your medium size and bigger size builds, that's another one, and the fact that the juice well is so deep, 8mm, that is super deep. Like I said, for the squawkers out there, you gonna love it. Build quality for this puppy chucker, nothing less of phenomenal. Anything from Vandy Vapes gonna be great, great, great. Oh yeah, another pro I almost forgot to mention, this is 24mm in diameter. I didn't even mention that in the close-ups. Yeah, 24. Big fan of my 24mm RDA, squawk atomizers. I love 24mm devices. Hell, I love my 25mm, but personally, for a squawker or for an RDA, I'm a bigger fan of the 24s, and that's what this is. So I found 3 cons for this Mamma Jamma. The first one is you cannot run this thing in single coil mode. The second one is it did not come pre-installed with a squawk pen. It needs to. This is a squawker and not a dripper, and that leads me to my third one. This is not for the dripper. Price point, price point, price point. Average price I'm seeing online is between 35 and 40 bucks. I'll post links down in the description of the sites that I know of that are credible, that will be or are carrying this thing. Now on to the big question, the big answer today. Which vapor out there is going to benefit from this bad boy the most? This is going to benefit that vapor that loves a squawk, looking for a 24mm squawk atomizer. That's what this is. Squawk atomizer. It's got bottom angled airflow. If you're a vapor out there looking for all that I just mentioned and more, well then get this puppy chucker. It's for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, liked it, found it entertaining and helpful. If you did like this video, well then hit that like button. Let me know that you care, okay? And share it for all your friends to see. And if you want to see more of me, then subscribe for more. This is Rip Trippers, and remember, smoking is dead. Vaping is the future. The future is now.